Hello, all you waking nightmares out there. Welcome back to Error Code Blueberry, an unassuming Destiny podcast. My name is chillybin.
Uh-oh, I'm in your backyard right now. It's Meckii.
Wait, are you?
Yeah.
I need to go. Anyway, we are, I think, now properly at the end of the season story, but it's also Bungie Day/week. So there's a lot of cool stuff happening. But I think we should probably start by wrapping up the story stuff. Because it wasn't really a prediction. I'm not like a fucking wizard here. It was pretty clear from last week that there was going to be more this week to finish off the quest and kind of wrap things up. And we got that. There was another mission, which you can only run once, and then it's gone from the map, which is kind of a bummer because I'd love to go back with a goofy build for the cutscene, get the silly armor look going.
I had my trash deer on, so...
But yeah, I kind of took some notes as I was going through it. And then you went through it, yesterday?
Yeah, I didn't add anything extra because I spotted all the same things.
Yeah, cool. So, where does it start? My notes are a mess. The mission's name, which I thought was quite good, was Catharsis.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice way to tie a little bow on the whole joint.
And as soon as I saw the mission name, I was like, oh, I'm going to cry, aren't I?
Yeah. So we open by Leviathan. We finally go through the doors towards Callus's throne room, which we kind of did in the first mission at the opening of the season before we fell through we didn't fall through the floor. We had to turn around and run back out of the room. This time, we go into the throne world. The floor kind of takes us down on an elevator. Now, when I entered that room, doors opened, and you see like a bunch of nightmares hovering in a circle. I stopped for a second. I was like, "Fuck, is that 5 of them? Is that Eris's fire team?" And then you can step to the side and see there's actually more than that. It's just they're forming a circle where there's one missing, and that's kind of where you walk straight into. But yeah, a whole bunch of nightmares just standing in a circle, hovering. You go stand on the plate, and it takes you down to basically just straight into the boss fight, right? Like that's the mission.
You walk down where all of Callus's automatons are.
Oh yeah, that's right. And
it's a line of nightmares.
Yeah. And then there's a portal. That's right.
And then you portal.
Yes.
Because I was going to say, while I was doing that, I was watching one of our favorite podcasts, TMG.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just had that running in the background.
Interesting choice.
The timing was almost serendipitous because it was the episode where Ben and Emil are on and Ben takes acid.
Oh, yes.
And I'm walking down this hallway as Cody Ko goes, nightmare, nightmare, nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
I lost it. I had to stop playing for a second because the timing was incredible. I had to turn the podcast off because I was like, shit.
You know how often that clip has played in my head while I've been running the stuff this season?
Just to be
nightmare.
Just to be walking down the hallway to Noelle doing that high-pitched cackle and just Cody Ko going, nightmare, nightmare, nightmare. I was like, no, this is fucking with me. I can't do this.
It's so good. But yeah,
we're kind of
just making our way towards this boss fight, which is essentially Keitel fighting big ghost Callus. So for anyone who's done the Leviathan raid, it's the Shadow Realm side of Callus, where it's the giant purple skull who does the big suck. It's that kind of version of him. Kind of a weird wave-based semi-passive boss fight. It was not what I was expecting.
It was just I think it was just a vehicle to drive the conversation with everyone.
Yeah, I mean it was
organically.
Largely Keitel v Callus. We were just kind of there to clear ads and stand in her little bubble, and then occasionally kill some yellow bar big nightmares. Big nightmares. But yeah, It took me a second to realize that I'm not supposed to be doing damage to Callus in this fight. Because I just looked down and I was like, oh, a third of his health is gone. I didn't do that.
I yeah, there was a few really interesting little small things that I don't know. I tend to notice those weird little things. I think that's my job in our fire team, just being like, hey, did anyone notice this? And people are like, oh yeah.
Oh, weird.
I noticed when you first teleport in, she's wearing all of her like Empress garb.
Yeah.
She's got like the big feathers and the head, like the headpiece. And then when it comes time to address like Callus, her father, and then it's almost like in the moment she kind of, where they have that back and forth, and then she realizes that, spoiler alert, he's dead. She goes in to fight him, but she takes off all of that garb. And I feel like that was kind of a like representative movement lore-wise, where she's kind of shedding the old ways of the Cabal to kind of fight her demons. Like, and part of her demons is that she's conflicted about breaking tradition. Obviously, that representation of Gaul like bullying her over doing things differently.
Yeah.
So for me, anyway, the way I interpret it, that like shedding of her traditional Empress garb was kind of representative, like a physical representation of her shedding that kind of tradition and that guilt, because towards the end, we'll get to it, but she didn't get like a catharsis like the other three did.
I mean, she did kind of get that.
She didn't really get that moment of goodbye, though.
No, but she got that kind of, she got it in the form of realizations, I feel like. Now, something you said, which I don't think is strictly true, is that Callus is dead. I think
it's more just he's.
So one thing she says is he's given himself over to the witness. So it's more that the Callus she knew doesn't exist anymore, in the same way that like Rolk became the disciple of the witness, right?
Yeah.
Like, there was no death of a being. It was just they kind of became a completely different version of themselves.
Yeah, like her father's gone, basically.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So I think like there's a form of death there, but it's not the literal sense of like the Cabal person thing that was known as Callus has died. There is no longer that version of him. He's now like the second disciple of the witness, or whatever he ends up
the
being.
harbinger of something, right?
Harbinger of the second collapse.
Yeah.
Is what they refer to it as. And capital C collapse, because that's a real proper thing in the Destiny lore. Which we're leading up to Lightfall. This feels like we're starting to see some of those bigger pieces being set up of, okay, you've seen the witness, you've seen Rolk, who we've technically killed. They are now bringing in a second disciple of the witness, whatever form that ends up evolving into. We'll have to wait and see, but it's very interesting to see them taking bigger and bigger swings with these seasonal stories in terms of the types of things they're setting up, but also just the actual meat and potatoes of the storyline. Holy shit. Somebody give these writers a raise.
Meme I made. I'm going to fight Season of the Haunted. Oh, damn, Bungie's writing team got hands.
Yeah. Like, it hasn't felt like they're trying to force any of this fairly heavy narrative, fairly intense narrative. It's felt pretty organic. It's felt pretty natural. There's times where it's like, the weekly rollout of the story maybe isn't the best vehicle for it, but they're doing a pretty good job with the structures that they have in place. Because there's one thing I've kind of felt with the weekly cadence this season is it's had a bit of a pattern to it of like week 1 character struggles with the Sever mission, week 2 resolves, and then we did that 3 times, and then there was a set. Then this week was the 7th mission. There's a fucking someone's doing shit with the pipes. Hang on, give me 1 sec. It's just the laundry on the other side of that room. Somebody's using the tap. All right, what was I saying? I've completely forgotten.
The cadence of the storylines being set up, resolution,
Yes.
set up,
Yeah.
resolution.
So like, there's parts of that kind of 2-week structure where it's felt like, okay, it's a little bit predictable in how it's going to play out. But that's like such a minor criticism. Like I don't think it really detracted from what they were trying to do. It was just more, that's just the tools they have at their disposal, right? In terms of storytelling mechanics.
It's no different than the kind of repetitiveness of what we've seen previously with hunts, overrides.
Overrides?
Yeah.
Battlegrounds.
Battlegrounds, yeah.
What was it last week? Last season. Mindscapes.
Yeah. Like it's just a vehicle to deliver lore.
Yeah.
Which, as someone who's heavily lore focused and enjoys the creativity of Bungie in terms of the way they write stories, that shit doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But I could also see how some people do within their own, like, the way they do things and the way their brain works. I can see why some people might find that monotonous.
That makes sense.
But it's also one of those things where it's like, if we're what, 10 years almost into Destiny 2?
Sure.
My imaginary watch.
Something like that.
If you're still fucking crying about it, it's a bit like, we been here, we done been new.
Yeah.
Like, the people who do the main stuff are doing it because they want to and they like the story. Sorry, my Tourette's. This is like I just caught my eyebrow freaking out, sorry. And now I've brought it to your attention, sorry. I can feel my brain goes, lift your eyebrow.
Do it more.
No. Anyway, sorry.
Just do it like this for the rest of the show.
Pull my fringe down.
Just
sorry. So anyway, that looked not good. For anyone who didn't know I was half Asian, that would have looked bad. Anyway, yeah. Sorry. It's one of those things where it's like the monotony. I understand how it gets to people, but like, it's one of those things.
Yeah, I should be clear. Like,
the people who are still playing story are doing it because they want the story.
Yeah. I think it's more. I don't know. I'm watching a lot of TV at the moment and like seeing structures in the way stories are rolled out in episodic shows. Like, you watch enough TV, you kind of start to spot patterns like that. But then again, they had 7 weeks that they did this story over, so it's pretty short at the same time. So, not at all a problem in any sense for me. It's more just like this season more than any other. I noticed it. Like most of the other ones, they haven't had kind of a repeated pattern other than like, oh, every week you're going to do this, which like, yeah, that's any episodic format. It was just more this season. It was like up, down, up, down, up, down, week to
emotional
week.
Roller coaster.
Well, yeah, and I think that's fairly fitting for the journey we went on. But yeah, it's been a look. They continue to do incredible work, rolling out story in a live service game in a just weirdly good way, tackling big topics. Is next season going to be like season of the vacation? Because fuck, there's been a lot.
Season of the melancholy and the infinite sadness.
Yes.
It's gonna feel like that album where you're just like, oh fuck, I felt a lot of emotions.
Yeah, can we not, please?
Well, I was chatting to one of my co-workers who plays Destiny 2, and he got into it during the pandemic, so he didn't play D1, any of that stuff. So he did the old watched Bife's video up until D2 and then was like, okay, I'm going to pause this video here and then go.
Yeah.
Because he asked me, how do we get into the lore? Because he'd been playing for a couple of months and he messaged me and he's like, yo, I see you on Steam playing D2 all the time, help. And he knew I played D1. And I was like, go watch the Bife video, and then the moment they mention X, Y, and Z event, pause it, and then start playing. Like, that's basically where you're going to in the overarching lore, that's where you're going to come in. So basically he watched to the destruction of the tower and then pretty much got into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we were chatting about it because he played it and then Friday morning he messaged me like, yo, and we were like, I came to the realization where like we're heading to the last like expansion. And I feel like
Lightfall, Final Shape.
Yeah, Final Shape. You know what I mean? We're heading that way. So we are probably like lore-wise, we are going to have to start saying some goodbyes. Like we're going to have to start. We're going to go through some shit in the next, years.
Yeah, I also don't know how final the Final Shape is going to be because they have said there will be a lot more Destiny 2 after that, and they currently have job ads up that talk about decades of Destiny, right?
Yeah.
So,
but for like this story arc, this group, it's
sure.
like I feel like they're almost like emotionally preparing us to say some really big goodbyes. Like,
yes.
They're making us fall in love with some characters, and I'm like, don't do that because I know what you're about to do to me.
Yeah, give us a Drifter-focused season where you make us really fucking hate that guy again, and then you can kill him, and we won't care.
Yeah, because he's starting to become almost like endearing.
Yeah, I know. Like, stop trying to give him redemptive characteristics.
Like, out of nowhere, I'm just like, yeah, Drifter feminist icon though. All of his friends are female.
Rat boy.
Like all of his like close friends, if you look, are women, and he's not a creep about it. And he
seems like he should be. He seems like he should smell bad.
He's oddly, yeah, I told you, he looks like he smells like wet clothes.
Yeah.
You know, any clothes have been in the washing machine a little bit too long.
Yeah, or you try to dry them in a room that doesn't get warm enough.
Yeah, and you put them on, you're like, oh.
Yeah, this
back
wasn't
of op shop smell.
This wasn't just cold; it was still wet.
Yeah, it's his existence.
Yeah.
The Drifter's existence is cold or wet.
Yeah. Maybe both.
But yeah, just like, and then the fact he's like made friends with kind of all the outsiders of the Vanguard kind of friend circle, and he's oddly protective over them and just super supportive. And I'm like, Drifter, feminist?
Yeah, on him. There was another one of those radio transmissions after we finished the story this week where Eris is essentially sending a voice memo because there's no other person talking back to someone that she refers to as Rat, who I've seen people say is just the Drifter. That, I guess, makes sense, but then she's talking about the Drifter having gone to this person, Rat, sorry, having gone to the reef, and that she wants to show them the lunar pyramid and some secrets that she's unearthed within it. I don't like any of that combination.
Yeah.
Leave the pyramid alone. Unless you find a really cool gun, and then I want it.
It's just down there vibrating on it through its thing.
Let me
it's just
take
down
the
there humming.
And put it on my head.
It's just out there in the moon humming. Just doing what it do.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, because I was like, I also think, as we've learned through the podcast, I think too deeply on things. And I was like, it's just really interesting that she's got someone called Rat, and then the Drifter's iconography is snakes.
Well, Gambit is.
Gambit, yeah.
Him.
But also, like, when you think of like the Drifter, you think of the two snakes.
Yeah,
and
wasn't there some
it's a pendant
emblem,
he wears as well.
Wasn't there some Gambit emblem that was a rat?
So I'm wondering
if to go look at them.
Maybe if it's not the Drifter, maybe it's another homie.
Yeah, someone else who wants to know about secrets inside geometric objects. Anyway, maybe it's just someone who really likes cheese. That was bad.
We've also got a gun called the Rat King.
We do. I need to go look at the lore for that to see if that tells me anything. Interesting.
Season of the Rodent. And it's all...
Season of just give it a fucking rest.
It's all shitty little rat boy themed armor. 5 foot shitty little rat boy who likes to live in the wall and eat cheese.
Season of the Big Nap, and it's just a season-long Sims-like mini game where we're building a nice, comfy bedroom.
They turn You know how like at festivals they have cooldown zones
Oh yeah.
or low sensory zones? The
Yeah.
whole tower is just one of those. It's just a festival tent with blue light and cushions
Just a
everywhere
big beanbag.
and phone chargers
Oh
and
yes.
free water.
God. We've been watching. Started watching The Good Place again, and there's one point where they're like, "This flavor of frozen yogurt is the feeling when you have a fully charged phone," and they're like, "Ah, oh, this is so nice." Such a good show. Anyway, that was
Most
Season of the
story
Haunted.
stuff.
And now that I've finished it, I bought that fucking t-shirt.
Oh, I need to do that next pay.
Yeah. I mean, with USD and shipping, it cost almost 60 Australian dollars. But
The tax money's coming in.
yeah, and I got a job this week, so fuck it. Oh,
Season of the employed.
Season of employment. Also, this is just a fun thing about who I am as a person. The literal first thing I spent money on after getting the job was, and this is my segue into Bungie Day, that fucking Nerf Gallahorn joint.
So I said to you, I was like, I like how you get employed and you're like, yes, celebratory rocket launcher. Thwomp.
Yeah. I'm gonna thwomp so hard when it eventually shows up in about a year from now. What?
I'm gonna thwomp so hard.
I'm gonna thwomp so hard, motherfuckers trying to find me. Thwomp so hard, motherfuckers trying to find me.
Danny, I'm gonna thwomp.
Yes. But no, like it weirdly worked out way cheaper than I think either of us expected it to.
We were both anticipating with shipping up in like the 800s.
Yeah, because like I've paid a lot of money for Lego products, you know, and I kind of put something like this in that category of I
got a $170 Lego succulent set I still have to fucking build.
Yeah, I mean that behind me that is out of shot is a $1,300 Millennium Falcon.
One of our friends bought the Titanic and it cost him $1,000.
Yeah, so I was ready for it to be like in that category of the brand is children's toys, but it's targeted towards adults, and it is this limited run specific
very niche
thing.
Kind of.
Yeah, so I was ready for big prices, but what it landed at was $185 for the rocket launcher itself, and then it ended up being like $30 shipping, which to me feels like something is wrong there. So,
I'll take it.
Yeah, well, like all told, Australian dollars ended up being just over 300.
I think at 313 we calculated it to. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can check my bank account.
Which I mean, shout out to whoever's decision it was, but let's just say Nerf and Bungie for keeping that affordable, because I know a lot of companies that have done that kind of thing before, Fortnite, and they price gouge.
Yeah.
Like, you can go to a shop and a normal Bungie, I nearly said hand cannon, that's Bungie Nerf hand cannon, sorry, next to a Fortnite hand cannon, and there's like a $30 difference, but they're essentially the same thing. They do the same thing. It's just one of them is reskinned. Yeah. So like, shout out to them for not price gouging, because like last episode we chatted about previous Nerf products, and I've got somewhere basically the Nerf armor piercing sniper rifle. And that thing cost me 400, 500 Australian dollars, something like that. Yeah. That was 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Because my share house took Nerf wars very seriously.
Yeah. The craziest thing about this to me was the shipping price, right? Like, I have also, so I got that Season of the Haunted t-shirt. The shipping on that was almost as much as the fucking rocket launcher. But then the pin that you can order for completing duality the first time, the shipping on that was more than this rocket launcher. It was like 40 something bucks, like more than the price of the pin.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any fucking sense. Or actually the latest physical hardcover Grimoire book, they've come out with the 5th one of those, bright orange. It's all about the Cabal. That is like a $25 book that carries a $45 shipping cost.
I'm wondering if they knew that the shipping for a lot of countries would be blown the fuck out with the way things are at the moment, and maybe just capped that shipping.
Well, I also
Because it is an expensive product, and in the scope of things you can buy in the store, it is a fairly big and fairly expensive product. So I wonder if they anticipated that countries like the UK, Southeast Asia, and Australia were just going to get absolutely annihilated by shipping.
You can buy it. There's a list of like 6 countries that are actually eligible to get it. But you can also, they don't often do this with pre-order items. You can buy more than one. You can buy 2 on one transaction. But yeah, it's. I also wonder if some aspect of how they've done this deal with Nerf is causing a lot of this to happen. Like maybe it's being shipped differently because it's coming from Nerf. Who knows? Either way,
because the shipping on the rocket launcher is less than the shipping on my jacket.
Yeah. So there's parts of that still don't make sense to me. Specifically the part of like, why can't I put multiple pre-orders in the same transaction? But that's always been the way with the Bungie Store.
Sure, they'll figure out a way to streamline that.
I would like them to.
But because if you're in a household, because my previous relationship, we experienced this issue where when he got into D2, he started wanting the jacket, I think, what else? Shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
And we were often running things together. So we were finishing things at the same time. But then we'd have to order 2 separate orders to the same house and pay shipping twice. And that was a little bit
so there's 2 parts to that I understand and don't necessarily agree with. One is the way that Bungie rewards work, where the ability for you to purchase it requires you on your account to have finished the thing in the game. And so that means that you need to have your own Bungie Store account to get a code to use for it, essentially. The way that they do that is just account integration. They don't give you a code to use in checkout to allow you to buy the thing, which they used to, I'm pretty sure. But since moving to linking your account to the Bungie Store, you can't do that anymore.
I'd even just be happy if there was a way per account that you could stack your rewards and purchase them.
That is the other thing.
All in one go.
So that's the other part, right? And I think the reason they don't let you do that is because they're all produced at different times, and production takes a different amount of time depending on the product. And doing it this way means they don't have to have warehouse space to store all of your pre-order items until they're all ready to ship at once. Yeah, so that's why you have to pay shipping on every single order.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty annoying, and can be the reason people don't get cool items that they have earned and want to get.
Yeah. What the hell?
What?
Sorry, my mother just tried to call me, and then I opened my phone to answer the call, and a Ludwig stream came up. I accidentally clicked on the stream notification when I was trying to hang the call up. Sorry. So Ludwig's just like, hello. I'm like,
no, get out of my
Ludwig, no. Yeah, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, like there are certainly parts of the Bungie Store interaction that are not ideal, but the solutions require them to spend money in different ways.
Yeah. See, for me personally, and like I get it, so it's less of like a like I'm not really like it's a gripe, but it's not one of those things I'm gonna stomp and scream about. But it's like I want the Season of the Haunted shirt, but there's also a couple of the pins I want.
Yeah.
And I would like to get them all shipped at once. But the handoff of that is the way they do things, unfortunately, is someone who lives paycheck to paycheck. I have to sit there and go, well, what do I want more? Yeah. What will I get more usage out of? Because I simply cannot afford 3 lots of $35 shipping.
Yeah.
So my handoff is kind of like, okay, well, what will I get more usage out of? The Pride pin, amazing, beautiful. I can't justify spending almost $85 on it at the moment.
Yeah.
As well as getting the Season of the Haunted shirt. I'm going to wear the shirt more.
Yes.
And get more mileage out of the shirt rather than a pin that's just going to sit on one of my bags.
Yeah. And I mean, the nice thing with that new Pride pin is they just gave everybody the emblem that you.
Yeah. But I would also like to. I would also like to purchase the pin because, like, as a queer person, I really appreciate the way Bungie supports us, and Bungie is not afraid to show us in their content, and then also come in and swing for us on Twitter when shitheads are being shitheads. And then they've got like women's rights pins and stuff as well that I'd like to purchase, which at the moment is pretty pertinent. Just being able to be like, hey, I like this game and I like this company, and then here is also some money that they're going to put towards these.
Yes.
So it kind of sucks the way they do things, because as an individual, I have to sit there and be like, well, the shipping on the shirt is the cost of the pin. So now I have to make that decision, like, do I want the shirt or do I want the pins?
Yeah.
And then try and figure that out. So that kind of sucks, but it's like I know they're aware because people keep talking to them about that, especially people like me, where they're like, hey.
Yeah. And I know that the store and fulfillment is actually not entirely in their control.
Yes, yeah. As we learned with the DSC and the Raid hoodie and then the Prophecy hoodie.
I think so, yeah.
I know there's been some hiccups with the Prophecy hoodies that to make it more affordable for us as consumers, they are shipping directly from production warehouses.
Yeah.
Rather than having it shipped to their warehouse and then redispatched, they're dispatching straight from producer, which actually cuts costs for the consumer because they don't have to accommodate for that shipping in between production and dispatch. So I appreciate that they do that, but there has been some hiccups about it. But we're also in a pandemic. I don't want to say just left or at the back end of a pandemic, because
we are still dealing with supply chain issues. Like, global logistics are a problem.
Yeah, my state and then all of the US are going through their third major spike with a new strain. So
yeah, look, you and I are both over 30. We're now eligible for a fourth shot. I'm going to try and get mine this week before I start a new
job. Am eligible because I have immune conditions, and then 3 months ago I dissected an artery, so and then broke my foot.
Yeah,
yay!
Fucking hell.
So on the instructions of my doctor, I will be getting another shot mid-September to accommodate for going to a highly crowded event in October. So. And then I've also got some friends coming over from Japan and the US and stuff for that event. And my doctor's like, oh, they're coming from America? Get your fucking fourth shot because shit.
Yeah, also here's a riot shield. Keep them away.
Cough at them.
Yeah. A one-way cough shield. Anyway, so that's kind of Bungie Day, Bungie Store. There are some like really cool items.
I really like that camo hoodie.
Yeah,
I'm not a camo girl, but that dark camo is very nice.
I got these camo pants, which are like a relatively new thing for me because I always would not be into it, but I'm kind of into it. Like, kind of works.
Millennial joke. What pants? I can't see them.
Ha ha ha. Fucking whatever. I almost bought that, but then I was looking around. I was like, nah, I want to get that Grimoire book more because I've got the previous 4.
Yeah, but hear me out. Not on me. I wear oversized hoodies with no pants.
Yeah.
Because I live that trash bag life.
Yeah.
But imagine, as a fit, that hoodie oversized, a pair of nice, like, either like tight moto style cargos or tight black, and then a chunky sneaker.
Yeah.
With a beanie.
Yeah.
A fit.
You'd be dripping.
Drip. I'm just like, fuck. If I see a man on the train in that exact outfit, I'm going to be like, hello, do you have a girlfriend?
Do you have a phone number?
Would you like?
Would you like one? You can fit in your pocket on your pants.
I cook and clean.
Yes. But yeah, just some stuff that is like not over the top. Like some previous Bungie Celebration merch has been like, fucking here's all these crazy designs. Like, no, it's like they put the number 7 on some shit. They've got some relatively withdrawn kind of designs. It's actually pretty nice.
I really like, as much as I appreciate what they've done this year, I just want a really basic, simple design T-shirt with the Ad Astra on it somewhere.
Yeah, I mean they've got a couple items this time around which have the whole Latin slogan on it.
But it's like got this big PC window with a graphic in it. I would just like, even if they just did a really subtle T-shirt with like the Bungie logo off to the side like they do with the Destiny logo. Sometimes they'll just have it up here. And then maybe the slogan on the sleeve or even across the back. Something just super clean and simple that like...
Back of the shirt, but in the tramp stamp area.
Hell yeah.
Actually,
with like the little
tramp
wings.
stamp tattoo. What does that phrase mean before I commit to that?
But... instead of a butterfly in a tribal...
Get up in this ass.
It's Ad Astra, double S. But instead of a butterfly with the tribal, it's the tricorn with the tribal.
No, it's a ghost shell made to look like a butterfly.
You're about to clap cheeks and you look down and you go, oh, D2? And she's just like, yeah. What class do you play?
Yo,
it's
just a whole conversation. Real quick.
It's just a whole conversation before you're about to throw it back for someone.
Let me hit this respawn period real quick and then we can go again.
How'd you and Dad meet? Well, he saw my Destiny 2 tramp stamp and we started talking at a club.
But I made sure to get him to put on a Ward of Dawn. This is getting weird. Yes, Bungie
An
Day.
overshield.
Yes. So one of the other things with Bungie Day, I think I mentioned it earlier, I mentioned it before we actually started recording. They sent out an email like with the announcement of the Nerf Gjallarhorn being available, but also like, here's your Gjallarhorn statistics over time. So there was like Destiny 2 and Destiny 1 numbers, date of acquisition, number of kills. Mine, however, because I never technically got Gjallarhorn in D1, I got Iron Gjallarhorn. So apparently I never got Gjallarhorn. So mine says D1, date acquired, invalid date, number of kills, 0000. And then my D2 one is like, I got it when I got it, and then I've killed like 14,000 things with it. I love that fucking thing.
My stats are like D1 pretty low because I barely ever used it because I used that slot for something else.
Mm-hmm.
Rifles, sniper rifles.
Heavy sniper rifles? No.
Probably. I
That's
can't
not a
remember.
thing.
Yeah. No.
Linear fusion rifles.
Probably that.
Not snipers.
Because I was a PvP sweat, so I don't really
snipers
have much use
are kinetic and energy.
Yeah.
Come on.
But don't care.
You do. You just said it was your main.
So like my lows were pretty low.
The kills are pretty low.
That's it.
My lows were pretty kill sounds like a depression album.
Lows were pretty kill is an anime title. Let's not lie to ourselves.
Yes. You're right.
By Studio Trigger. I'm gonna shit on my favorite studio for a second. But
soundtrack by Gerard Way.
It's about girls half dressed like every other Studio Trigger anime. We've all seen Kill la Kill.
Half of anime.
We've seen Kill la Kill.
I haven't.
You should. It's very good.
I like half dressed women. Go off.
No, but it's beautifully drawn and it's fun. And also people keep telling me I remind them of the main girl, Matoy. I don't know why. And then basically the TLDR of like my D2 stats was just like, bitch, who hurt you? Because like it was like 1,000 kills and then like 30,000 kills.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, bitch, who pissed you off?
Yeah.
Because I love myself some galley. No, actually, no. Now the swarm necrotic grips is my new favorite.
It's an armor exotic. You can use both.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like my swarm necrotic grips combo is my new bitch who hurt you combo.
Gjallarhorn is basically a swarm. It's just not, that kind of poison corrosive joint.
Yeah. Like last time we did DSE and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Everything is green and purple. I don't understand.
And then our post-raid stats was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I wanted to get it done.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, what else was, I don't know. No, there wasn't much else in that email. It was just announcing cool products you can buy. There was all the cosplay stuff,
I
which
was
we should
literally
talk
about to be
about.
like, the cosplay Cosmodrome?
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yes, a whole bunch of fucking sick ass Savathun costumes. I think it
Dude.
seems like they picked someone from each region around the world and went, this one, actually.
Basically, yeah.
But yeah, a lot of them just fucking looked like they were screenshots out of the game. Like crazy detail.
Someone built the armor and then took it into an actual swamp. If I spent that much time building something, it would not be going near water. When I used to do D1 cosplay, when we were eating, we used to we had all of our armor pieces on by Velcro because it was just so much easier. And then the guy who built it with us. Basically, we went to the Yamaha store and all of us bought just plain black motorcycle suits. So you've got like 6 fucking nerds walking into the Yamaha store. Yes, some full body leather suits, please.
And let me put Velcro on them.
Do you ride? It's like, yes.
I ride a Yamaha 100. Is that anything?
I ride the motorcycle. I got them. That's all you need to know. And then a lot of us bought boots too, because once you take all the plating off motorcycle boots, they're actually really good for Destiny boots. You can warbler on top of them. Yeah, it's also how he built. It's how he built his Master Chief. It's how he built his Master Chief cosplay too. So he just dismantled a bunch of motorcycle gear.
Good.
But when we went out to eat, other than not wanting attention, we would just take our suits off and store them or bring them in with us. Because we were terrified of getting water or food or anything like that. We dressed up for the spicy ramen competition, and then halfway through it, there's a picture of us somewhere. We've all got them unzipped, sitting half down because we were getting sauce on them, but then also overheating.
Of course, yeah.
Dying. Our awoken makeup is just fucking running So to go through all that effort to build that armor and then take it into an actual fucking swamp.
Yeah,
I thought it was Photoshop, and they'd posted behind the scenes stuff of them wading into the water. I'm like, ugh.
I would hope they've coated that with some hydrophobic shit so that it's just just wipe it off. We're good.
Yeah, or just it made me anxious knowing how much effort goes into those cosplays and what they're made of. I'm like,
Yeah, jeez.
And then just being waterlogged in that cosplay for the rest of the day.
Yeah. Ugh.
It looked incredible to recreate that scene.
Yeah.
And then a lot of them recreated a lot of the cover art just using LED ring lights, color changing ring lights and light bars and stuff, which just looked just as incredible.
Yeah. There were some interesting kind of variations, I guess, or people putting their own spins and touches on the design.
A few people did wings, massive wings. Holy shit.
It was if you've ever seen, I think it's Kimber Prime, D2 content creator based out of New Zealand, I think. They did a Mercy cosplay with giant wings that articulated, and that stuff is just crazy.
So talented.
Yeah.
In awe.
Yeah, I don't know if they were in this roundup of Savathun costumes, but just on my Twitter timeline over the last, I don't know, few weeks or whatever, there's been someone that's shown up that's progressively building a costume.
The person who more or less started it.
Yeah, right.
Where they were, I'm not going to assume their gender, but they were basically trial testing how to articulate.
Yeah, and it was
Zab's
they started with just the head, right?
And then they had the sock, and then the sock kept showing their teeth, so then they switched over to something else, and then they had low visibility. And then they were so transparent and open about the way they were doing things that other cosplayers could then jump on and start.
Yeah.
And then what you ended up with is this range. And my favorite part of this is, to be honest with you, is the amount of Cosmodrome competitors, entrants, who were throughout the process communicating with each other and helping each other.
Yeah.
And supporting each other.
Cool.
So when each of their posts went live, there was so many of them being like, fuck yeah, dude. It looks so sick in the end. Oh my God, I'm so glad you figured out your problem with the LEDs. They look amazing. Holy shit, the jaw articulation on yours is incredible. You'll have to tell me how, because cosplay is an evolving thing.
Yeah.
My first cosplay looks insanely different from my last cosplay of the same character, because you run into other cosplayers and you're like, holy shit, the ribbon on the collar of your your outfit. Holy shit, that looks amazing. And like a lot of cosplayers will just, well, the ones who are worth your time, I'm not gonna lie, will just be like, oh yeah, I ordered it on this website. I'll send it to you now. What's your Discord?
Because so much of it is like found items that are painted or repurposed in a way that look completely different to what they are. Right? It's like, it might be foam, 3D it might be this weird thing. Yeah, 3D printing nowadays.
Warbler, like the way you would pattern out fabric, you can pattern out on a lot of foam products, and a lot of cosplayers who make these patterns either sell their patterns or put them online for other cosplayers to use. It's a community effort. I found the people that, like, if you compliment that you're a cosplayer and you're like, holy crap, the paint on this looks incredible. How'd you get it to look like that? And they're like, like they're not worth your time.
Yeah, right.
To be honest with you. Like if they're going to sit there and be like, sorry, no. Yeah. It's like, well, what are you doing? It's a community. We're all here to look awesome. Like, and it's the same thing. Like I've been around people, like, without name dropping, like Jessica Negri, where someone has come up in a similar cosplay and gone, holy fuck, the fur on your coat looks so much better than mine. And Negri will just pull up the website and be like, I ordered it here. Here's the number for it. Do you want to write it down? I ordered this much. Like just, and other cosplayers, I've been like big cosplayers too, are so happy to share that.
Yeah, because like people will figure that shit out anyway. What do you gain by keeping it to yourself?
Yeah. And also like group cosplay is fun as fuck. Like why would you keep secrets? Like I love going to PAX and like Oz Comic Con and stuff like that and seeing 35 Junkrats all in a group together taking pictures.
Do you remember?
I love that shit.
There was one, it was like PAX Oz.
A giant Evangelion photo group. Not even that love one. It.
It might have been like 2018, 2019. I think it was the year right before Smash Ultimate came out. And everyone was like making noise about putting Waluigi in the game finally. And there was just this fucking gaggle of Waluigis walking around the show protesting about
a swarm of Waluigi.
And they would just like put Waluigi in Smash. That was their entire message for 3 days.
Oh, a group of a Wa.
Yeah, it was
a group of Waluigis is just called a Wa.
Yeah, just Waluigis in all shapes and sizes. Just the weirdest shit. But the best.
And then Nintendo said, get fucked, Sora from Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, get wrecked, nerds. You get nothing.
Haha! Dickheads.
Speaking of cosplay, something that I think they featured in the TWAB this week. So we've had Threads of Light, which are in-game, show us your build. We'll feature it in a magazine, the digital magazine we make up. They've now done Shreds of Light, which is basically low-cost cosplay for Destiny. And some of that shit is so funny to me. Like,
oh, the little pug dressed as a war dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his armor is monster cans and a Coke bottle.
Shit is so good.
And his little face is just like, huh?
Yeah.
If I had the money and the time and not a broken fucking foot, because a lot of building cosplay is on the floor.
Yeah.
Like spreading patterns out on the floor.
Yeah.
I really wanted to do something for Sergey.
Dog-like judgment.
Yeah. Dress him up as the Clovis Bray head. Or just like, because he is so hairy, I was like, what if I did like a mini like scuffed Varix cosplay? Because he's got that big mane of white fur.
No, what if you got like matte green fabric, wrapped it around so just his head was sticking through, and then green screened him onto that Clovis Bray scene where the giant head is, and then he's just like looking around just doing stuff.
Doing his little monkey noises and shit that I send you on Snapchat, him talking.
And you just get his mouth moving, and then you like put the audio over it of, what is it, La Fontaine du Javant. It's like that whole monologue. It'd be so good.
Or when you go in and Clovis's head basically bullies you after DSC.
Yeah.
And it's just Sergey doing his weird like noise at you, and you're just like cutting to the Guardian and the Stranger, just like.
Yes. Be prepared to face dog-like judgment.
There was a point where after I saw the War Dog, I was like, man, Sergey as Varix though would be so funny. Or just an Elixni.
Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah. Or just do it at any point. and just
I've got
put it up
enough
there.
I've got enough jackets and coats of his that I could modify.
True. Yes. Good. Okay. What else is going on? Sorry, I'm just scrolling through the notes. No, that's all adventure stuff.
Some kind of funny news that came out of Lauren Topol, who worked on The Mandalorian, Wall-E, Up, and The Tomorrow War, has joined Bungie as a senior producer for transmedia projects.
Yes.
That's fun. As long as they don't, I don't think they will because Bunge won't let them, but if they're going to do a transmedia Destiny project, as long as they don't Halo it, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't need to see my Guardian's ass.
Yeah, no, my gut feel is that it'll be more like stuff like The Mandalorian, where it's like side stories in different mediums. You know, it'll be like, here's the story of, I don't know, the Golden Age, or something that like we never get to play in the game and probably won't. And it's more just that kind of slice of life stuff. Let's do it as an episodic show or an animated movie or something like that, right? Like,
yeah.
What they've done recently with Star Wars, I think, is actually a pretty good example of where I think this will go.
Typically, she has worked as a line producer or a producer. So she's worked in a producer role, but then she's also worked in a budgeting and overseeing cost kind of space for transmedia projects. So she might not be directly hands-on in terms of writing, but she's involved, which means... And like people have noticed job listings going up for transmedia stuff for...
they've been doing it for a while.
Studio and production spaces, like stuff like that. So people think
like
they might be gearing up.
There was some LinkedIn thing that people unearthed that hinted at Bungie developing a mobile game for China, like a Destiny mobile game for China, I think. But again, that could just be they're exploring the space. They're also hiring roles like Destiny historian and archivist. Like, they clearly give a shit about the world and the universe that they're building and trying to develop it carefully, right? They're not just, let's just do anything and everything. It's like, no, we kind of need a bit of a structure to this because it's already convoluted. There are so many places to get Destiny lore. Please have someone in charge of keeping that shit in check.
Yeah. I mean, they could pull from the community.
Yeah. I kind of prefer the way they're doing it, where they're hiring people specifically for it, because it's really tough to like lean on the community without it starting to feel exploitative. Like, if you hire people who are content creators and then they can't do the content thing that they wanted to do in the first place, then like, is that really the best move? You know, because a lot of the content stuff like Bife or Mylan or any of those sort of creators, like a lot of their stuff is looking at the lore that is available, trying to put together theories and stories and speculation based on that. They're not necessarily trying to come up with their own stuff. And yes, there are fan projects and there's always fanfic, etc. Yeah, people are going to do it, right? People want to make their own stories because
people do be writing heavily detailed stories about their Guardian, fucking random people.
Not even like that kind of stuff, right? People making up OCs and doing all sorts of stuff. Like, it'll be areas of the story that Bungie haven't explored to the extent that people want them to, right? Like, there was that whole fan project to make a season of Siva, right? I don't even remember what they called it.
Bife and a bunch of community.
They did Dynasty.
Dynasty, that's it.
Which I haven't watched, but that's all as far as I know about like, the history of the Hive, right? And that's even an area that Bungie have explored a lot in the lore, but they haven't necessarily put together, you know, TV shows or movies or whatever about it specifically. It's all just lore that is either in-game or references to it. So no, I kind of prefer the way they're doing it, where they're hiring people to go and make sure this content gets built well. Maybe that means they engage some of those content people from the community on projects, but to me, it doesn't necessarily feel right to just try and recruit those people and have them on full time because it might not be what they want to do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway,
It's all very interesting. I'm excited to see it grow and then move into other like avenues. Like we've seen they're very competent at writing beautiful, detailed worlds and stories, and I know they're very protective. Is that the right word? They're very
I think so, yeah.
invested and protective of their lore. So a lot of people are like, oh god, like, and I made that joke, but like I don't think it'll happen. But like Halo and other media that's been adapted, gaming media, where they're like, God, please no. And I'm like, I don't think Bungie would do that. As we've seen in the past, Bungie will pull out of a production if they feel like it's not going the right way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
A Destiny and Halo TV show have been attempted multiple times in the past, and Bungie have consistently pulled out and been like, no, we're not happy with what's happening with this, so bye. You don't get to use our IP.
With District 9, Neil Blomkamp was originally trying to make a Halo movie.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of the shit in that movie looks like Halo shit, is because it was originally built to be a Halo movie, and then they pulled out of it. I don't know if that was Bungie or 343 at the time, but stuff like that they've tried to get that shit off the ground for years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead, they're just giant prawns.
Whatever they're working on will be good.
Yeah.
Prawn.
The fucking prawns.
I fucking love that movie.
I need to watch it again. I rewatched Minority Report last night, and that was a weird trip back to 2002.
No, I have an odd, like, soft spot for Neil Blomkamp stuff, and then also, is it Sharlto Copley?
Yeah, I think so.
As an actor.
Yeah.
So, like, even though Elysium was a fucking mess, I still loved Elysium because Sharlto Copley is a villain.
Yeah. That's so good.
So good. Don't watch Chappie though, because fuck Diane Ward.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. The other thing that all that talk made me realize is, we're beginning of July here. We started making the show just after that Witch Queen showcase, which was what, like October, November time?
Yeah.
Right? They must be getting ready to start talking about Lightfall.
Yeah. I think a lot of people were really hoping for something to go live on Bungie Day, but like...
Yeah, and there's also, like, they have been hiring for unannounced new IPs for a while now, and I think people were hoping they would start to talk about that. No, they didn't. I don't think that was really ever going to happen. I think they would schedule an event with a live stream and a whole thing, and it would be its own dedicated time for that.
But also, like, Bungie Day has always been a celebration of Bungie, its community, and its staff. It's never been a day where they've really used a big announcement to take away from that in the past.
It's all about, like, where are we now and the history of how the studio's grown and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, soon we'll hear about the new season, obviously, because we're running out of this one. But yeah, in the next few months, we should hear about the next big expansion. And that's always a very exciting time. But also next season is Arc 3.0, and I'm going to be thunder crashing everything in the meantime.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm going to light this motherfucker up.
Find a replacement for my Void Necro build.
Yeah.
Just electricity and poison. Oh, Jesus.
Or just keep running it because it still works.
Just me coming towards you with a Chaos Reach. Fucking green!
Oh, no. It's like Cell doing a Kamehameha. Yeah, Bugman.
Oh no, you gave me flashbacks to the first time I saw those episodes, and he used to absorb people.
Oh, through the tail that like fucking comes out into this giant funnel thing,
and for some reason that I had nightmares about being eaten by Cell for like weeks after I saw that episode as a kid. It like deeply traumatized me.
And like I think
it was my first taste of body horror.
Well, also, his like first and second forms are really grotesque until he gets to his final form.
Grasshopper boy, and then his final form.
Like his weird
it's a little
mouth
bit
and giant head. Ugh. Yeah, then he's like that strong.
Third
chin.
form Cell. Damn.
I'm not like other men. I'm a giant green bum man.
Coming from the girl who had a crush on Vexus from Fern Gully, not surprising.
Yeah. And Varix.
Yeah. Not
Anyway.
a furry. Not a furry.
It could be. They're quite nice people, it seems.
Not a furry. Just put that out there. No.
Actually, so, like, completely off topic. Andrew Callahan, the guy from Channel 5, he went on Hot Ones, and I watched that, and, like, that was the group that he said is the most misrepresented, because they're actually just really nice people who want a safe way to express themselves, who are often on the spectrum, and that suit gives them a way to do so. Yes, there are people that, you know, have more of the kink side of it associated with it, but most of it is just they're really nice people that are trying to find a good way to express themselves.
The oddly disproportionate level of right-leaning people who go into furdom, but it's like every demographic though. Like it's if you listen to the internet about the Destiny demographic, you would think 90% of them are rude shitlords who are opinionated and punch their dogs. But like a lot of them I found
fuckheads everywhere.
A lot of them I found are just vibing.
Well, they keep to themselves because people like that are out there and they're so loud and visible and they don't want to be associated with them.
But it's also like, and I learned this through working with a lot of now in the last 24 months, for some reason, my contract has pivoted at my other job. And now I'm working with a lot of like J-vlog and anime.
Mm.
And you would think like a lot of anime fans are the stinky, sweaty, fat, greasy, creepy guy, the tall, lanky, socially awkward guy. But then you go to these anime events and it's a lot of like power lifters and gym people and people of color who are like underrepresented in the anime community, like, and a lot of just actually normal people who just enjoy anime. And it's just because the socially awkward, stinky, kind of weird aspect of every single fucking community that exists. Football fans have stinky, greasy, creepy guys in their community as well, you know?
Yep.
All soccer/football fans aren't hooligans, but we hear about them more, so you think of soccer communities as hooliganism.
Welcomes to stereotypes, a theory.
Like, it's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, they're the loud minority often misrepresents the majority on a lot of things. So.
Yeah.
But just not a furry.
No.
Too poor to be a furry. Have you seen how...
Yeah, well, that was the thing he said is like, he was talking to Sean, the guy who does Hot Ones. He's like, you know, you should give it a try. A suit costs you like $3,300. It's like, nah, dude.
People are like building articulated heads that could rival Disney.
Yeah.
Like, it's an art.
Yeah.
My introduction to how expensive fursuits were was the daughter of one of the lead singers of ICP being ripped off by a fursuit builder.
Amazing.
Like, apparently the daughter of like one of the singers of ICP.
Violent J?
Yeah, I think so.
That's the only one I remember.
He goes to like furry events with his daughter in a fursuit as well. Like,
amazing.
There's a lot of ICP, the Venn diagram of ICP fans and furries is
there's an overlap. There's an overlap there.
But I thought that was really interesting. But then also he like went in on the internet and like shit talked this like scam artist on Etsy, and I was like, fuck yeah.
Incredible.
Like, my daughter's a furry, so fucking what? And I was like, hell yeah, dude.
I still don't understand magnets, and that meme continues forever.
Hella fuck do they work?
If a magnet wore pants, would it wear them like this?
Every time I think of ICP, I think of the fuck. What is that show called? We watched it in the server once. It's like one of my favorite shows.
Jackass.
No, it's got Adam DeMamp and stuff in it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Fuck. Someone's gonna yell at me in the comments. That's so funny.
Yeah. Or you'll remember it and yell at me later.
They Workaholics.
Oh, right.
Yeah. When they go to the ICP festival.
Okay. All right.
Juggalos.
We're not even talking about anything close to Destiny. Let's get out of here. Let's call that a wrap.
Yeah, we're going into daytime Discord energy.
I mean, we are recording in the middle of the day, which is unusual for us. The coffee that I had as we were getting ready to record is definitely hitting. My eyes are just like they want to be
Mine
all
was
over
a
the place.
triple shot, and I'm operating on like an hour's sleep.
Yeah,
So,
you must be
woo!
vibrating into outer space, which is where destiny happens. We will catch you next week, I guess. Hit all the buttons, do all the things, tell all your friends about Erico Blueberry.
Tell your enemies.
That depends on what opinion you have of us and why you're telling them. Anyway, yeah, we'll see you next week. Thanks for
Bye-bye.
stopping by.
Love you.
Bye.